Hey friends, welcome back to the My Inner Struggle podcast. This is episode 67, and I'm your host, Laura Ferry. I'm so grateful you're here. You're taking a moment for yourself to slow down, to tune in, and pour something positive into your day, and that means everything. If there's someone in your world who might need this conversation too, please share it with them. That kind of connection is how we grow together, and I'd be so thankful. Now let's get into it. Today, we're flipping the script on leadership because I believe mental health isn't just something to manage. It's your greatest superpower as a CEO or founder. This one's for the leaders, the visionaries, the women holding so much. So, when you're ready, grab a cup of coffee and come get uncomfortable with me. The most powerful leaders today aren't the loudest in the room, they are the calmest. They aren't fighting for the attention or the recognition or anything like that when they are meeting with their team. They are listening, they are showing their shift away from the hustle and grind culture and really cultivating relationships with their employees. They are working on themselves from the inside out so that they can be the leader for the team that they desire. And it all starts with you, the CEO, not your org chart. And I've said that before. You are how you lead, period. And when you can shift away from that hustle and grind and scarcity mindset, it makes a huge difference in yourself, the way you communicate with your employees, what you're communicating when you're networking, or even with your customers. Leadership now means emotional intelligence. You really need to be in touch with who you are in order to lead a team of people. If you are frazzled inside constantly and struggling with chaos all the time because of disorganization or just quite frankly not healing the parts of yourself on the inside that need to be addressed, you can't lead from a place of peace and abundance at all. You're constantly afraid that you're not going to have enough or be enough or get enough clients or whatever. If you're constantly grabbing onto things, we want to practice presence over perfection. We want to be present for our employees, for our customers, and show them undivided attention. And I know that can be a challenge at sometimes, but if we think about this, most of us have been in a situation, I would think, at some point in our career or lifetime where we've been trying to express something to our boss and they clearly weren't listening, or they didn't even have time to be there for us. And as a boss, there is a certain amount of that. Yes, we hire office managers and we have HR, but if you're interacting with your employees as you should be on a regular basis, you have to remain present. You're not listening to respond. You're not listening to race out of the room because you have something else to do. If you don't have time to talk at that moment, you can simply express that, obviously. But the way you leave other people feeling says so much about their experience. And we want to lead a great team because that is what gets us to where we need to go. If you have not started to, or there's something about regulating your nervous system so that you're not constantly talking and talking and talking and talking. You need to step back and listen and embrace that stillness in order to move forward. And that's so true in so many different practices in life, and not just being a CEO or founding a business or building something, or even in management. Listening is a learned skill. We don't want to listen to respond. We want to listen to hear the people that mean something to us. But regulating your nervous system so that you're not constantly interrupting somebody. I used to do that all the time because I have just things will leave my brain as quick as they come sometimes. And I was so afraid that I would forget it. And then over my time of personal growth, I realized that, if I don't remember it when they're done talking, it probably wasn't that important. Or maybe I'll remember it eventually then as it comes up or in another conversation. But there's no reason for constant interruption. So when you can model that to your employees, it's a beautiful thing because it's just being respectful of one another's time and what they have to say, and just being respectful of them, period. A regulated CEO is a thriving company. You are how you lead. And I've been saying it for like a couple months, but it's so true. Everything about you, the way you build the morale, your problem solving skills, the retention of your employees, morale is a huge one. If you're constantly breathing down your employees' backs because you don't trust them or what they'll do, you're not building the right team. And quite frankly, when someone is not, that's not how do I want to say this? There are so many employees that I've talked to that are like, if they would just like trust me, I can do this. And you have to give people that chance. So trusting that you've taught them well and you've made your expectations abundantly clear, because no one can reach your expectations if they're not clear. So you make their expectations and how you want it done clear. And if they have feedback on that, be a listener, listen to it. And since they're the one doing the task, let them guide you. And if they have an idea of how it could be more efficient or better, listen to it and maybe it'll surprise you. And maybe you won't agree with it, but that's okay. But giving someone the opportunity to have a hand in how something is handled, if it's their responsibility, is giving them confidence that you have in them and for themselves as well. That's the team that you want to build, not someone that is afraid to make a decision without you. Essentially, you don't want to have to be a part of that daily tasks so that it can all run smoothly, so you can do whatever it is that you need to do to build the company and not be in the company, but build the business. If you want your team to be grounded and confident, you have to model it first. Period. Just like we talk about in parenting, if we want our kids to act a certain way, we need to act a certain way. The same when our personal relationships, our friendships, all of that. We're not going to treat the people around us badly and expect to be respected back or have that same care given back to us. We'd be like, what are you doing? You shouldn't treat me that way. It's the same with your employees. So let's talk about that new leadership model, being confident and showing that you have emotional intelligence, which requires some digging deep sometimes. And as we segue into like support, basically. So being the founder of a company often can be very isolating. As I've been building my business, it was lonely for a long period of time. And I've talked about it before. It's uncomfortable. No one really likes to talk about it, but I remember doing like a walking meeting with a friend of mine, and she's like, where are the rest of us? Where are the rest of us that we can talk to and bounce ideas off of? I'm not a fan of all of a sudden all of these networking groups, because everybody's in it for the dollars. And I get, it's not that I'm not building my business to make money, because I am building my business to make money and support my family. But there are so many more things to life than just money, right? And when we talk about these networking groups and it's all like, oh, we're here supporting each other. But really everybody's like, okay, I need this type of customer and you need that type of customer. I'm talking about support, camaraderie, connection, community, because, maybe we need to just talk out an issue that we're having with an employee or a decision that we need to make, or we just want to get somebody's ear about this like thing that we want to launch, just like, what do you think? Like, do you think that this could be improved in any way, or how would you market this? Something about community. So it's very isolating at the top, and no one openly talks about that loneliness that can exist, or the fact that sometimes you just can't shut it off. You want to go home after you've been working all day and like keep making content or keep improving something. And it's really hard because you love it to shut it off, especially when your hobby has turned like full-time career. But there is a loneliness that comes from building a business and leadership that not everyone gets, but other business owners. And sometimes when we don't have that community around us, we can face, decision fatigue or not making a decision, overthinking, emotional exhaustion, and just kind of loneliness, because no one around you understands necessarily the things that that you're facing, or the decisions that you have to make, or the financial struggles maybe that occur, because building a small business is hard. And for the first few years, you're not really making that much of a profit. You're just kind of surviving, and it gets exhausting, but you want to keep going because you want to see what happens at the other end, that this dream that you've been thinking about so much that you had to start this business. It can be very isolating and scary, and it's hard to ask for help, especially when you're supposed to have it all together. You're a small business owner. You must be doing well. X, Y, Z. I don't know. Oh, they appear to be doing great. They're running a store, or they're, hosting all these retreats or whatever. Everything appears to be good, but it might be a financial mess still, because it takes time to build that. I had a really hard time with that isolation, but it's forced me to grow personally to levels that I never even knew existed. And recently, I just launched a new sort of section in the Self-Love Club, especially for women business owners. So it's within the Self-Love Club. So if you're a member of the Self-Love Club, you can sign up at lauraferry.com. And each week, I'll be working with women business owners on kind of, their struggles that they're getting through, but also pouring into their cup so that they're getting that personal development that they need in order to be better leaders to their teams and to grow their businesses. Because if you're ignoring that stuff that makes you're not going to grow, and your business isn't going to grow. So again, if you are a woman business owner and you are struggling finding community or people that really get it, and you are ready to make every day better than the last, please join the Self-Love Club and join this community of women business owners. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm very excited to be rolling that out as we step into it and see where we can grow together. It's awesome. Leadership doesn't have to mean going it alone. It just means you need to find the right tribe. And that is this girl gang that I am building. It means surrounding yourself with the right support, good people that have good intention. And it's just amazing. I want to kind of segue into routines. And I know I talk about routines so many times. Your daily habits keep you anchored in good intention, as long as those are good habits, which we won't really address the bad ones necessarily, but setting a morning intention or having a morning routine, all of those things, so super important. When I started doing this a few years ago, it accelerated everything that I was doing. And I can't even remember waking up the way that I used to wake up all the time. And again, I have 3 kids. I'm a single mom. And when they were little, I woke up and it was like chaos. I don't like rushing out the door in the morning. I will not say that I'm not a morning person, because I think I am a morning person. It's just not like, let's leave the door immediately. Let's leave the house immediately. I like a slower morning. So getting up, setting my intention for the day. I pull tarot cards every morning. Have affirmations that I say to myself. I look at my vision board, I meditate, and then I'll come down and start writing and reading. Truthfully, I haven't been reading as much because I've been doing more other stuff to fill that. But I do listen to a lot of audiobooks while I'm like working on different projects and things. And I will incorporate that back into my morning routine. But right now I'm doing so many things that are filling my soul that it feels really good right now. So whatever that looks like for you, developing a morning routine and keeping yourself accountable for it. Again, Self-Love Club, we keep each other accountable, and watching the growth of these women is so fulfilling and beautiful, and just watching people evolve is such a gift. And I'm just really grateful for what I get to do every day. But we keep each other accountable, and that is a very empowering thing for each other to do for each other. And then also, like, on the receiving end, as we continue to do better, that we just continue to build each other up. And it's just so cool. I've never felt so supported in my life in that regard, I would have to say. And It's just a really special group of women. So we can't wait to meet you and help you become accountable too and grow. Walking meetings. I actually had a coaching client this afternoon and we walked 2 miles while we were going through everything that she's working on and her tasks and taking action to get things done. And I'm super proud of her. She's doing an amazing job. And it's such a privilege and honor to work with her. And she's such a good person. And I love that I'm finding the right people to coach, because that isn't always the case either. Sometimes people will sign up for it and not be quite there or ready. And there's a certain amount of pushing yourself too. But I would say if it feels uncomfortable, do it. Sign up wherever you're looking to be coached, whatever task it is, whether it's, like fitness or anything else. Push yourself to be uncomfortable. That's a good thing. That's how we grow. So then in these mental health routines that I was talking about, the morning routine, and then again inside the Self-Love Club with the CEO Reset, we have a call every Wednesday with women business owners, just rolling this out just for community. So we'll work on whatever issues people are going through at the time or that we want to discuss. I'll lead you through a lesson. We'll do some guided meditation. But it's literally with other women business owners, so they get it. They know where you are. They know how it feels. They know how isolating it can be and the challenges that we're facing every day. So it's a beautiful thing. Boundaries around screen time. So I was thinking about this today because I had a meeting earlier today and it was about 45 minutes away. And I used to always want to be engaged with people. If I was driving the car, I would call somebody. If I was, I was always on my phone. So this is years ago, around COVID time, I would say So I was driving from this meeting and reflecting on the fact that I used to jump in the car and feel like I needed to talk to somebody. I always felt like I needed somebody. And this was shortly after my divorce, and it was very lonely and it was hard to cope, but I was always on my phone and engaged in something. I had to feel filled with something. And it took a long time to practice putting my phone down. And then as I entered my last relationship, I had already kind of done that. I had sort of felt like I filled my cup. I didn't need to carry my phone with me anymore. And then just out of behaviors or whatever, it was well, why don't you have your phone with you? Or what if your kids need you or whatever? And then I started kind of doing that again. And I feel like it took a long time to then break that habit again. And then in the last, I don't know, probably 6 months that I've been okay, I really need to disengage. Social media can be such a time suck, and it's kind of crazy because my entire business is really built from social media. So it's sort of a necessary evil. And if you are a business owner and you're not on social media, you're missing out on a whole audience, a huge audience, in fact. So it's kind of a weird balance that you have to go between the two, but we don't want to get sucked into the doom scrolling and endless amount of time on our phone, but make that valuable, interacting with Facebook groups and things like that, posting to your own social media platforms and things, but not be on there all day. It's kind of tough as a business owner to pay attention to it and then put it away. So I've been really practicing that and kind of making a rule for myself. One thing that I've been doing lately, especially if I am working on client work or something from my home office, I put my phone on do not disturb all day so that I'm not constantly seeing the notifications or getting text messages or whatever, so that I can focus, it's heads down, focus time. If my kids need me, if they're not here, and if they need me, they can ignore that and send the message anyway for whatever reason. But it's really helped me zoom in on my work and focus a little bit, because that can be hard sometimes, especially with them home. Oh my gosh. Summertime has been very interesting. There is no one that does it more than a mom. I'm just going to say it, even if the guys hate it, but we are working, and the whole climate of kid activities has changed since COVID. I think that the expectations of parents has changed. You never would have like activities in the middle of the day or I remember it being like rough in summertime, but I'm back and forth to the high school 3 times, or not 3 times, twice, and then camp drop off or whatever, all before like 9 a.m. Then I can come home and work for 45 minutes. And then I go back and pick one up. And then I can come back and work for like another couple hours and then go pick this one up or take this one to work or do that. And then come back and work for a little bit more. It's fucking exhausting. And I'm trying to build something around being a mom, which is why I kept talking to other mom business owners, because holy shit, this is hard. And we don't acknowledge that enough. It's okay to admit, yeah, it's difficult. And we've always been expected to do these things, but we don't really give ourselves credit for that. And that's why it's so important to pour into yourself and give yourself some love in order to keep moving. Because let's face it, some of these things, these are obligations that we can't really skip out on. We can't really say, no, I can't bring you to work, or no, I'm not going to take you to football practice. That's not really an option. We just have to keep filling our cups so that we can keep pouring into the things and the people that we love, which is why all of the things that I'm talking about are so important. Being a part of the community in the self-love club and creating daily habits for yourself that are healthy and fuel your growth and make you feel calm and relaxed and ready to take on your day. So we've talked about the mental health routines. We've talked about isolation. And let's actually, because I was just kind of saying this, I always have notes for myself so I don't forget. But I want to give your call to action to join the self-love club. If you've been listening for a while and you've been thinking about it and you're not really sure what to expect, and I've talked about it before, and I don't know, maybe you're kind of like, this is interesting. It's hard to commit to something sometimes maybe, but inside the self-love club, we make space for rituals, resets, especially for us women that are holding so much, because we always are. And if that sounds like you, I want to invite you in. Use the code on my website. If you go to lauraferry.com, click on the Self-Love Club, follow the link. There's a code to join. For your first month is only $5. Spend the $5 on yourself, commit to yourself, and join the club. You will not regret it. It is such an amazing space. I can't even put it into words, quite honestly. I think that you'll get so much out of it just by having this community around you, and we'll work on building those rituals and getting yourself organized and being kinder to yourself and just feeling better. It's really just amazing, honestly. So I want to also leave you with just a little bit more of a takeaway. So we can also break the stigma and talk about the overwhelm that we face as women, as CEOs, as founders, as employees, anything. Strong doesn't mean silent at all. It's okay to talk to people about things once you find your tribe too, and just talk about the struggles that we face with authenticity. We all have it. Just nobody wants to talk about it because it's uncomfortable. Strong means supported. So when you start thinking about I'm holding this all, but I'm not going to talk to anybody about it because I don't want to show my weakness, combat that with strong means supported. And mental health isn't a weakness. It's your edge, it's your clarity, it's your longevity. So take that into account. Your mental health is so important, especially as a business owner, because it trickles down to everything that you touch. Every person you interact with, every client that you interact with, it's all representative of your own level of personal growth. And it's time to start taking personal responsibility for the things that you need to heal from. Also, give yourself permission to pause, to cry whenever you need to reset, and to ask for help. I never thought it was possible to hug so many people and have it feel so good now. It sounds so weird, right? I grew up in a house that didn't show any affection, and I didn't really have any affection in my marriage. And I just was craving a hug after my marriage ended so fucking bad, and for years. And I finally have found these people that feel the same way. And it feels so good. It doesn't feel awkward. It just feels normal. And sometimes that's what we need. We need a hug at the end of the day or at the end of a session just to sort of seal the practice and feel good because you are supported. I want to end this with a mantra that I have here for you. And after that, I want your call to action to be to join the Self-Love Club. Go to lauraferry.com, use the code for $5 for your first month, and try it out. I know you're curious. Here's your affirmation. My mind is my power. My presence is my strategy. My peace is my edge. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you can, give it a like wherever you're watching or listening, and please share it with a friend if you think that they could benefit. I really, really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're watching or listening, and check out the blog at myinnerstruggle.com and join the Self-Love Club. You won't regret it. Until next time, I am thinking of you and sending you love, and I will see you soon.